Hey, how's it going? Doing a bit of reading myself. Chapter 4. Dr. Hayabusa leapt out of the monster's path. He fell to the ground. Scrambling to his feet, he unleashed his sword. The beast stared at him. His eyes rolled, and on either side of his face, his short, stocky legs stuck out on each side, and its scaly body curved down like a person at the top of a push-up. Slowly it approached, letting out a fearsome hiss. "Spirit King!" Dr. Wimple cried out. Dr. Hayabusa walked backward. He held his sword steady. "Come this way, Randolph. Walk slowly, it won't harm us. It needs to conserve its energy." Dr. Wimple obeyed. "How can you possibly know that?" "The creature is a Komodo dragon, Randolph. Until now, it's only been found in the Indonesian island of Komodo. Yeah. Having somehow survived extinction, it's a cold-blooded reptile that often sleeps in the sunlight, replenishing its energy. You can see..." Turning the page. "This one's a bit sluggish. At night, it will undoubtedly be quick and ferocious." "Thank you, Dr. Wimple said, trembling. "I'm certainly told not to be around here after dark." "But what a zoological find. First of its kind discovered in the West." Dr. Wimple nodded. "Fine, then we'll write a report. Let's get out of here before we become its ends." They took off, scampered deeper into the jungle. The trees grew closer together, the brush thicker and thornier. Dr. Hayabusa used his sword to cut a path. They bushwhacked for hours. Under the afternoon sun, the jungle festered. The humidity practically suffocated them, and they had to stop every few feet to catch their breaths. Even Dr. Hayabusa, who was running out of steam. When they reached a clearing, Dr. Wimple flopped onto the ground. "Siesta time," he said. "I don't care what you say." Dr. Hayabusa took a map out of his pocket. He studied it carefully. "If I'm not mistaken, Randolph, we are already at the..." "Look!" Dr. Wimple shouted. Suddenly his fatigue disappeared. He ran across the clearing to a strange, rounded stone that stuck out of the ground. Pulling a spade out of his backpack, Dr. Wimple furiously dug around the stone. It was a large flat tablet covered with intricate etchings. Dr. Hayabusa joined his colleague, and together they pulled out the tablet. They set it down, and Dr. Hayabusa began to translate. "All praise Great Hero Shinobi, who on this day in Anno Domini 1290 confronted the powerful demon of the Temple of Darkness." "Shinobi?" Dr. Wimple interrupted. "That's impossible. How could a Japanese be an Amazon 200 yards before the calendar?" His eyes aglow, Dr. Hayabusa read on. "Having sailed across the eternal sea to find the land of the forbidden mystery, Shinobi returned to his native land, guarding the secret of his discovery." "Eureka!" Dr. Wimple shouted. "Do you realize what a sign we made? My surgeon's been commandeered to make sure it's not a vacant. The great Shinobi cannot bear to reveal the one shame of his life." Dr. Hayabusa continued reading. "His only failure as a warrior. When the demon's body lay bloodless on the ground, slain by Shinobi's sword, its power lived on. It continued the fight, unleashing the forces of nature. Though Shinobi could not beat the invisible enemy, he fought bravely, dividing the demon's energy in two. The forces of light and dark.
thus enabling the demon. He imprisoned the forces into two statues buried here under.
Without saying another word, the two scientists dropped to their knees and began digging. It took over an hour, but when their shovels hit two solid objects, they were delirious with excitement. Dr. Hayabusa pulled out a white marble figurine about a foot tall and shaped like a horrible hunched dragon. Dr. Whipple's statue was exactly the same, except made of black onyx. "Remarkable," Dr. Whipple said in an odd whisper. "Does the tablet explain what happened to their power?" Dr. Hayabusa picked up the tablet and read more.
The demon will begin to wake at the time of dark moon, approximately every 700 years. If the statues are in the same temple as the demon, they will join forces and inhabit the demon's body, releasing unimaginable power. The world will not survive. However, if the statues are not inside the temple, the demon will remain harmless.
Dr. Hayabusa paused. His face was solemn. "Is that it?" Dr. Whipple asked.
Yes.
Dr. Hayabusa looked his friend in the eye.
The question is, where's the temple?
Dr. Whipple threw back his head in laughter. "So you didn't take all that shit off there."
What do you mean? We did find the statues.
Yes, and they're fine examples of pre-Columbian South American art. But it's obvious what happened here. Clearly, Shinobi's demon was a Komodo dragon, and the ancestor we found. The rest of Bacon Mumbo Jumbo, well, we should leave the folks all to the experts. Dr. Whipple took off his pack and stuffed the statues in. He walked into the surrounding jungle, snooping around. I turned the page. But Dr. Hayabusa wasn't convinced. He paced the edge of the clearing, trying to piece it all together. His toe stubbed against the edge of another stone. Gritting his teeth, he looked down at it. It was gold, and it looked like the edge of something bigger. He knelt down and yanked up the underbrush of its surface, and when he was done, a small, perfectly square stone stared up at him. On it were gold inlays depicting some kind of message. "Amazing!" he called out. "I found an ancient grave marker, Randolph." No answer. Dr. Hayabusa turned around. "Randolph!" He walked across the clearing, looking around. "Randolph, where'd you go?" He stopped. That wasn't a jungle sound. Randolph Whipple must have found something else in the woods. But where? In the thick air, it was hard to tell where the noise came from. He felt his blood freeze. The sound was in the clearing behind him. He looked around. Everything looked exactly the same. Or did it? It was the grave marker. His trained eyes detected a slight movement. An inner voice told him, begged him, to run away. But Dr. Hayabusa walked closer. Clunk! The marker slid aside, revealing a deep hole. In 2 arms, a sudden blinding lightning bolt ripped the jungle air. It flashed in front of Dr. Hayabusa and sliced a nearby tree in half. Dr. Hayabusa flung himself on the ground. When he turned around, his jaw dropped open. Standing in front of him was a creature. It was human, but only barely. Each foot had 3 enormous claws. Its bare chest rippled with muscles that looked like cast iron. Deadly sharp ram horns jutted out of its steel mask that covered its face. In its right hand it held a sword, and its left a gleaming shield emblazoned with the letter J. And when it spoke, the ground shook. "Give me the statues," it demanded. "Not on your life, sheep face," Dr. Hayabusa said. The warrior thrust the sword. Its mighty stroke caused the trees to rustle. With a perfect ninja front roll, Dr. Hayabusa escaped the sword. He sprang, turning page, to his feet. In one swift motion, he pulled out his sword and lunged. Clang! It hit against the enemy's shield. Dr. Hayabusa stepped back, waiting for the next move. The warrior dropped his sword with a casual but powerful gesture. It reached upward. Dr. Hayabusa watched with eagle eyes. Crack! Another bolt of lightning sliced the sky. This one connected with the warrior's outstretched hand. Dr. Hayabusa stared in disbelief. How could this thing have survived that hit? It brought its arm forward. It pointed. Dr. Hayabusa took the full force of the electric current. He crumbled to the ground. A freak storm, came a voice from behind him. Well, maybe there was a break in the humidity. Out of the corner of his eye, Dr. Hayabusa saw Randolph Wimple emerge from the surrounding brush. He propped himself on a weakened elbows. Run! He croaked, his voice raw. Dr. Wimple froze his tracks. He looked from Dr. Hayabusa to the warrior. Ken! What? Who? Run for your life, Dr. Hayabusa croaked. Follow your step. Follow every step of emergency plan F. Do you understand? But I can't just leave you. Dr. Wimple was cut off by another electric jolt. It drilled a clean hole through the tree next to him. Dr. Wimple was off in a flash. He had never run so fast in his life. Good riddance, the warrior snarled. Now give me the statues. Never, Dr. Hayabusa said, stalling. But now Dr. Wimple would be 50 yards away with both statues. Another jolt made Dr. Hayabusa arch in pain. All right, he said, at least give me enough strength over my back. The warrior waited. With agonized slowness, Dr. Hayabusa removed his backpack. The longer he took, the farther Dr. Wimple would travel. He set the pack down. He fumbled through the laces. He removed his canteen from the top. He dumped the contents on the ground. Trail mix, 3 maps, a wallet, camera, 2 lenses, a mess kit, and a compass. Nothing more. The warrior seemed to swell with rage. His mane stretched as its chest muscles. With its fist clenched, it reached up to the sky. A deafening boom shook the boom. There we go. Boom. That was a good one. Shook the entire jungle. The lightning that struck the warrior's turning page and bathed the area in white light. When the flash was over, the warrior glowed. No one plays games with me, foolish insect, it bellowed. Prepare to meet a fate more unimaginably terrible than death. Now, here's a game hint for those playing at home. Let's see here. To beat Kerberos, get under the light podium and hit him with your windmill star when he's coming from the right. Then, staying under the podium, hit the other Kerberos with your sword on your star. I hope that's helpful.